Jason, can you get their attention for me? I'm dead here. Yeah. Oh, I'm. The last time we did it. Yes, but not now. And I don't know if he can hear me. Okay. I'm going to assume that you can hear me, right, Troy? Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. I can hear absolutely nothing over here, so I'm just going to take about 60 seconds of your guys' time because I have an idea of what Troy was talking about here. And based off of what he's saying, if you are not going to catch up with things that you need to do today, tomorrow's not the day to be driving around. We know this, we see this all the time. People get out on the roads, they want to see what's happening, and then they become part of the problem rather than part of the solution. So listen to what our meteorologists are saying. This stuff is pretty serious. Look at this. Tomorrow, 8 a.m., making impact on our coast. Troy, you were just out there a second ago showing this is no longer something that may or may not hit us. It's going to have serious impacts on our area. So as you are prepping today, a few things that you need to be keen about. Go into tomorrow with a full tank of gas. Have your snacks ready for the week. Begin to pick stuff up from your yard. I heard on a press conference earlier today, I'm going to stick it and add it to my toolbox. If you can pick it up, put it up. If you can travel in your yard and there's stuff out there, you want to make sure that this stuff is no longer there. I'm going to take these headphones off because they're driving me crazy. But now's that time to start figuring out how are you going to end today and then make your way through the next 24 to 48 hours, Troy. We're going to be here bright and early all day long making sure that this is reported properly because this is serious stuff at this point. We want to make sure that our users have the information.
Again, it'll take a while before the system actually weakens from a Category 3 to a Category 1 hurricane. So notice as it's moving right over into Lake Sumter, Marion counties, and now even Orange and Seminole counties will see the chance for some of those hurricane force winds to stick around, some sustained hurricane force winds, and then eventually it weakens. But again, a good bit of the day on Thursday dealing with those hurricane force winds, tropical storm force winds for most all of Central Florida as we talk about gusts, and then some sustained hurricane force winds in our western zones. So we're going to continue to watch those deteriorating conditions as early as tonight as we pinpoint some of those heavier downpours that come in around those rain bands. In fact, we do have some impacts to show you. You can see right now many of the models in agreement with that cone, and that's why the wind radii shows that tropical storm force wind moving on in for Thursday through the day, and then again some of those hurricane force gusts quite possible for a large part of central Florida. So by 3 p.m. today, you see the rain with the future radar, and then more of that heavy rain building in from the south. We'll be pinpointing some heavy downpours and the risk of tornadoes to build in late tonight on through the day tomorrow. So we're going to be here around the clock. This model shows pretty much what that track is showing with somewhere near Sarasota, a landfall, again, late Wednesday. This is showing Wednesday afternoon, but some of the other models are showing a later onset, a later impact of a landfall, and then pushing farther in. So you see, once that builds in, it comes right along I-4 with some heavy rain as well as those stronger wind gusts up near hurricane strength. So here are some of those impacts. Again, winds 75 miles per hour plus for Marion, Lake, and Sumter counties. There's Marion. Again, Lake and Sumter, pretty much the same scenario as Marion, with those rain totals up to 10 inches that could lead to flooding, as well as tornadoes. There's Sumter County, Orange County and Seminole County. You can see rain totals up to 6 inches, winds up to 73 or higher. And then all along the coast, there's Flagler, Volusia, and Brevard counties seeing those rip current risks, as well as those winds up to 39 to 73 miles per hour. And again, we can't rule out that tornado risk. So Trooper Steve, we've got all these impacts. Again, Osceola County, did I miss that? I want to make sure I don't leave out Osceola County. Again, winds at 73 and tropical downpours. So all of central Florida dealing with the risk of tornadoes as well as those stronger wind gusts.
What's crazy is, Troy, the entire state, what I mean by that is 67 counties in the state under a state of emergency right now by order of the governor. Obviously, a lot of other counties now declaring their own independent state of emergency, but the entire state highway patrol will go to Alpha and Bravo shifts starting at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
And when you say that, what does that mean, Alpha Bravo?
So that means Alpha Bravo shifts. There are a multitude of shifts out there, just like here at News 6, but we now narrow it down to 2 shifts. Everyone in the state works is being pulled in. There is no one that is off that is with the highway patrol. They work from 6 to 6, rotating.
As we will do here. We're going to be here around the clock doing 12 on coverage, where we are all here in the building updating you on these changes. And again, we could see a shift, Trooper Steve. This thing could shift a little bit more to the east, but bottom line, anywhere within that cone, we could have hurricane force winds right on top of us for a few hours.
I'm glad you said that. Real quick, before we wrap this up, at this point, Troy, whether it shifts east or west, as a meteorologist, would you say, no matter what, we're going to see some impacts?
All of central Florida will have the chance for hurricane force wind gusts, if not sustained hurricane force winds, especially in some of our western, but now it looks like central zones, including areas along I-4, because this thing has shifted farther to the east.
I'm so glad you explained that, because a lot of people are thinking, well, we still have time. We still, it may go to, no.
We're not going to see, we continue to see these models shift east. We've seen the track shift east. If anything, it's going to shift east or stay exactly where it is right now. We don't expect it to shift a lot to the east. You know, a lot of people want to think, oh, it's going to move out to the east altogether and miss us. No, we've got the possibility of a major hurricane making landfall just to our southwest and then moving right along I-4 into central Florida with hurricane force winds. So we've got to keep you up to date on that, and we will.
So we'll have
absolutely. Thank you, Trooper Steve, for joining me. I'm going to do a TV cut in just a couple of minutes. In fact, they're saying in 10 minutes. I'm going to run out and do that, I think. So we're going to wrap this up. We'll have another update throughout the day with all of our meteorologists here on staff. So keep it here. We'll keep you safe on all of our platforms on Hurricane Ian.